Okay, let's jump right in. Running a convenience store. On the surface, might seem straightforward. Sell snacks, drinks, gas.
Yeah, but it's really not that simple, is it?
Not at all. Talk to any owner, and you'll hear a different story. It's this daily whirlwind of trying to keep shelves stocked, find and keep good staff.
Handling a constant stream of customers.
Exactly. And somehow actually turn a profit. Oh, and somewhere in the middle of all that chaos, trying to have like some semblance of a personal life. Sound familiar?
It absolutely does. And in that daily juggling act, there's one crucial area that often gets pushed to the back burner, and that's the bookkeeping.
Right. The dreaded bookkeeping.
It's the task many owners know is vital, but it so often gets delayed, building up this kind of reservoir of stress that can just explode when tax deadlines loom.
Or when you need to make a quick financial decision.
Yeah, exactly. When you need immediate answers.
Right. But what if you could fundamentally change that picture? What if you could, offload a massive chunk of that burden?
Not just with some basic digital upgrade, maybe.
No, but with a system specifically designed for the unique complexities of a convenience store. We're diving deep today into the world of automated bookkeeping.
Exploring how it can be a real game changer.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, imagine having systems constantly working in the background to ensure your financial records are not just accurate, but always up to date.
Always current.
Think about getting real-time insights into exactly how your business is performing, instantly seeing your most profitable items so you can, double down on what works.
And finding problems before they blow up.
Yes, having potential problems flagged proactively before they turn into major headaches.
That's the promise we're exploring today. Our mission in this deep dive is really to uncover precisely how tailored automated bookkeeping for convenience stores can give you back your time.
Deliver that accuracy that manual systems just can't match.
And ultimately provide something every business owner craves: genuine financial peace of mind.
Definitely. And it's not just about the potential gains. We also need to be clear about what's at stake if you stick with manual bookkeeping.
Good point.
In today's fast-paced convenience store environment, clinging to those old methods carries significant hidden costs, not just dollars and cents.
But also like efficiency and personal well-being.
Absolutely. The operational drag, the personal toll,
Mm-hmm.
it's real.
Okay, let's get specific then. What kind of financial hits are we talking about if you're still doing things the old way?
Well, let's start with a really direct one. Errors. Simple human errors.
Ah, yes.
When you're processing hundreds, maybe even thousands of transactions every single day, the chances of a simple data entry mistake are incredibly high.
Like adding an extra zero somewhere?
Exactly. Think about accidentally entering $100 as $1,000. That single slip could go unnoticed for weeks in a manual system, and it really impacts your bottom line.
Ouch.
Then there's the sheer time commitment. It's been shown that convenience store owners can spend anywhere from 12 to 20 hours every week just on admin tasks.
12 to 20 hours a week.
Yes, and bookkeeping eats up a huge portion of that.
Right.
If you value your time at even, say, a modest $50 an hour.
You're looking at potentially over $52,000 a year.
Exactly. $52,000 a year spent on tasks that don't directly generate revenue. That's a significant opportunity cost right there.
Wow, $52,000 a year. Suddenly those spreadsheets look a lot more expensive. And it's not just honest mistakes we're talking about, is it?
Unfortunately not. Manual bookkeeping can also leave you incredibly vulnerable to, well, fraud.
How so?
Without automated real-time tracking and reconciliation, even small daily discrepancies, maybe just a few dollars missing from the till each shift.
Things you might not even notice day to day.
Right. They can accumulate to substantial losses over the course of a year. We're talking potentially upwards of $7,000 or more just vanishing
Yeah.
due to these small, hard-to-detect inconsistencies.
$7,000 just slipping away.
And beyond that, think about the less obvious drains. Missing payment deadlines and racking up late fees simply because you lost track in the paper clutter.
Or the knock-on effects of mismanaged inventory. That's a big one too, I bet.
Huge. Because if your books aren't accurate, you might be over-ordering items that end up spoiling on the shelf.
Wasted money.
Or, equally bad, under-ordering your best-selling products and missing out on crucial sales when customers come looking for them.
And they go somewhere else.
Precisely. And that delay in having clear financial information, it hinders your ability to make timely decisions that could drive growth.
You're always reacting, not planning.
Exactly. Plus, let's be honest, all those hours spent wrestling with paper records, trying to make sense of it all, that's time you're not spending on improving your customer's experience or strategizing for the future.
Or, frankly, just taking a breather.
Right. The personal toll of constantly battling your finances manually can lead to serious burnout. We see it all the time.
It paints a pretty stark picture.
Yeah.
So how does bringing in automation fundamentally change this landscape? You called it a Swiss Army knife. What makes it such a versatile solution for these specific problems?
That's a perfect analogy because automation tackles those exact pain points we've been discussing, but in a really integrated and comprehensive way. Let's start with accuracy,
Okay.
the sharpness of the knife.
Right. Automated systems simply don't make the kinds of human errors that are almost inevitable with manual bookkeeping. They don't get distracted. They don't get tired.
The access.
They process every transaction consistently and with precision, immediately eliminating those costly mistakes we talked about earlier.
That's a no-brainer, really. Computers don't get tired at the end of a long shift or accidentally hit the wrong key.
Not at all.
What about keeping a handle on all the money flowing in and out of the store? Reconciliation, right?
That's where the magic of automatic reconciliation comes in. Think of it as a digital detective for your finances.
I like that.
The system can automatically match up your daily sales data from your point of sale system, your POS,
Yeah.
with your inventory records and your bank deposits. This means if there's a discrepancy, say, the cash in the till doesn't match the sales recorded, it flags it immediately.
Almost instantly.
Yeah.
Not weeks later when you're buried in paperwork trying to piece everything together.
Just that feature alone sounds like it could lift a huge weight off an owner's shoulders.
It really does.
And I'm guessing it makes tax time significantly less of a headache.
Oh, absolutely. Significantly less. Automated systems can categorize your expenses according to the latest tax regulations
Keeping everything organized.
and maintain meticulously organized, audit-ready records throughout the year. This precision dramatically reduces the risk of errors that could trigger audits or lead to penalties down the line.
Okay, so we're talking about less time wasted on tedious tasks, fewer costly errors slipping through the cracks, and a much smoother tax season. That's huge.
It is.
What about freeing up actual time for the store owner to focus on other things, the growth stuff?
That's a core benefit, and it's where owners really start to see a difference in their day-to-day lives, actually. How? Think about all those hours currently spent manually categorizing piles of receipts, painstakingly reconciling bank statements, struggling to generate even basic reports.
Yeah.
Automation handles all of that seamlessly in the background. This frees up a significant chunk of your valuable time
Time you can use
for activities that actually drive growth. Things like strategic planning, investing in staff training, implementing marketing ideas,
Or maybe just taking a weekend off.
or even just taking some much-needed time off. Absolutely.
And having that time back. That's not just good for the business. It could be a real game changer for the owner's personal life and overall well-being.
Definitely. A huge impact there.
You also mentioned the idea of real-time decision support. How does automation help with that?
Yes, this is really powerful. Instead of waiting for those end-of-month or even quarterly reports, to get a snapshot of how your business is doing.
Which might already be out of date by then.
Exactly. You gain instant access to up-to-the-minute financial dashboards. This allows you to see exactly how your store is performing at any given moment, right now.
Right now. Empowering you to make smarter, more informed decisions on a daily basis, whether it's adjusting inventory levels, tweaking pricing, or responding to unexpected trends.
So it's not just about looking in the rearview mirror at what's already happened. It's
Yeah.
about having the data you need to actively steer the business forward in real time.
Precisely. You're looking through the windshield, not just the rearview mirror.
Nice.
And this real-time visibility fuels what I call financial intelligence. Automated systems are incredibly adept at identifying trends that you might completely miss if you're relying on manual processes.
Like what kind of trends?
For example, you might suddenly notice a clear pattern of surging energy drink sales every Monday morning. Or maybe a predictable spike in lottery ticket purchases around the middle of the month.
Things you might feel intuitively, but now you have the data.
You have the data to back it up. This kind of insight allows you to proactively adjust your staffing levels, maybe tweak your inventory orders to capitalize on those opportunities. That's really powerful. It's like having a built-in business analyst constantly scanning your data for hidden opportunities.
Exactly. Automation also enables much more in-depth expense analysis. You can easily track which overhead costs are increasing.
Find those hidden leaks.
Identify areas where you might be able to negotiate better rates with vendors and ultimately make more informed decisions about where your money is going.
And figuring out what's actually making you money.
Yes. Perhaps most crucially, you gain crystal clear insights into which departments, products, or even individual services are generating the highest profit margins.
Like knowing if the coffee station is really pulling its weight compared to, say, snacks.
Exactly like that,
Yep.
which allows you to strategically focus your efforts and resources where they'll have the biggest positive impact on your bottom line.
So we understand why automation is such a powerful tool, but for a convenience store owner looking at this thinking, okay, I'm interested, what specific features should they be prioritizing when evaluating an automated bookkeeping system?
That's a critical question because not all systems are created equal, especially when you factor in the very specific operational needs of a convenience store.
Mhm.
Integration capabilities are absolutely paramount.
Integration with what they already use.
Yes,
Yep.
you need a system that can seamlessly connect and synchronize with your existing point of sale, your POS system.
Right.
This ensures that every sale, every return, every discount is automatically recorded without any manual data entry whatsoever.
That sounds like a massive reduction in busy work right there.
It is huge. Bank feed integration is equally essential. This allows the system to automatically pull in your bank and credit card transactions directly,
Cutting down reconciliation time.
dramatically cutting down on the time you spend manually reconciling your accounts.
Mm.
Ideally, you'll also want connectivity with your key vendor systems.
For things like ordering and paying bills.
Right. To automate processes like generating purchase orders, receiving and processing invoices, and even scheduling payments with your major suppliers. And finally, make sure the system can easily integrate with your preferred tax preparation software for a much smoother year-end filing process.
Okay, so seamless connections with existing systems. POS, bank, vendors, tax software are a must-have. What about features that are more specifically tailored to the convenience store business model itself?
These are the features that truly make a difference in this specific industry. Inventory management is a big one.
Always a challenge in C-stores.
Always. The system should be able to track your inventory levels in real time, allow you to set automatic reorder points to avoid stockouts.
And maybe spot what isn't selling?
Exactly. Identify slow-moving items that might be tying up valuable shelf space and capital. Department tracking is also crucial.
You mean like tracking snacks versus drinks versus tobacco?
Precisely. You need to be able to monitor the financial performance of different sections, beverages, snacks, tobacco, lottery, fuel, whatever your categories are, so you can make informed decisions about your product mix and merchandising strategies.
Makes perfect sense. You need to know exactly what's selling and what's not within each of those categories to optimize your offerings.
Exactly. Cash management tools are also vital in a cash-heavy environment like a convenience store.
Definitely.
Look for features that allow you to track daily cash drawer balances, easily reconcile cash after each shift, and maybe even identify any unusual patterns or discrepancies that could indicate potential issues.
Like potential theft or errors.
Right. And for compliance, especially with regulations around age-restricted products,
Alcohol, tobacco.
lottery tickets, yeah. Features that help you monitor and record sales of these items are increasingly important, both for compliance and just good record keeping.
Those are all very specific and directly address the unique operational realities of running a convenience store. Beyond these integrations and store-specific features, what other time-saving automations should owners be aware of?
There are several that can significantly streamline your workflow. Receipt capture technology, for example.
Oh, like taking a picture with your phone?
Exactly. Allows you to simply take a photo of supplier invoices and expense receipts with your smartphone, and the system will automatically extract the relevant data and categorize the expense,
That beats a shoebox full of receipts.
doesn't it? Recurring transaction recognition is another great time saver. The system learns to automatically categorize regular, repeating expenses and income sources based on your past entries.
So you don't have to manually code rent or, say, utility bills each time.
Correct. Payroll integration is another good one.
Yeah.
Connects your bookkeeping software directly to your payroll system, automatically allocating wage expenses and tracking payroll tax withholdings.
Streamlining payroll day.
Makes it much easier. And finally, the ability to schedule the automatic generation and delivery of key financial reports, things like daily sales summaries, weekly profit analyses, monthly performance statements,
Sent right to your inbox.
sent right to you. Keeps you informed without you having to manually create them every time.
That's a significant amount of automation happening behind the scenes. Now, with all this sensitive financial data being managed digitally, security is obviously a major concern for owners.
It absolutely is, and it should be. Reputable automated bookkeeping systems understand this and incorporate robust security measures from the ground up.
What should owners look for?
Look for features like role-based access controls. This allows you to specify exactly what different team members can see and do within the system based on their job responsibilities.
So the cashier doesn't see everything the manager does.
Exactly. Audit trails are also key. They provide a detailed, unalterable log of all financial activities and changes made in the system, providing transparency and accountability.
Who did what, when?
Precisely.
Hmm,
Strong data encryption is essential to protect your financial information both when it's stored and when it's being transmitted. And perhaps most critically,
backups.
automatic backups. The system should perform regular automatic data backups to secure offsite locations, safeguarding your data against any unforeseen events, like hardware failure or, worse, a cyber attack.
So it sounds like a well-designed system offers not only significant efficiency gains, but also potentially a much higher level of security than many small businesses could implement on their own.
That's often the case, yes.
Yeah.
They invest heavily in security infrastructure.
Now, for a convenience store owner who's been managing their books manually for years, maybe with paper ledgers or basic spreadsheets, the idea of making this switch might feel a bit overwhelming. What does the transition process typically look like?
Yeah, it can seem daunting, but it doesn't have to be. A smooth transition usually involves several well-defined steps.
Okay, step one.
The first is a comprehensive assessment of your current processes. This means really understanding and mapping out all your existing manual financial tasks.
Seeing how things work now.
Exactly. Identifying your biggest pain points and inefficiencies, and clearly defining your integration needs with your current systems, like your POS.
So it's about getting a clear picture of where you are now before you even start looking at new software.
Exactly. Step two is careful solution selection. This involves thoroughly evaluating different software
And
options,
doing your homework on the software.
taking advantage of demos, free trials if available, and even calculating the potential return on investment, the ROI, based on your store's specific circumstances.
Making sure it's a right fit both functionally and financially. That makes sense.
Then comes the crucial phase of implementation planning. Step three. This includes developing a realistic timeline for the switchover,
Setting deadlines.
figuring out the best way to migrate any historical financial data into the new system if needed, and having a contingency plan in place. What if something goes wrong?
Always good to have a plan B.
Always. Step four is staff training and getting buy-in from your team. This is absolutely critical for a successful transition.
Getting everyone on board.
Yes. Providing role-specific training, creating clear visual guides, maybe even offering small incentives can help your employees embrace the new system.
Getting everyone on board and comfortable with the new technology is definitely key to a smooth rollout. What happens once you actually start using the new system? Step 5.
Step five is often a phased implementation. This is usually the most effective approach. Start by automating your most critical or time-consuming processes first.
Don't try to do everything at once.
Exactly.
Hmm.
It's also generally a good idea to run both your old manual system and the new automated system in parallel for a short period, like a month or two.
Why do that?
It allows you to verify the accuracy of the automated system and build confidence in its reliability. Compare the results. Regular checkpoints during this initial phase are important so you can quickly identify and address any issues that might come up.
So a gradual transition rather than a sudden disruptive switch, that makes it feel much more manageable.
Precisely. Once you're comfortable with the core functions, you can move into step six, optimization and expansion.
Fine-tuning things.
Yes. This involves tweaking the system settings, activating additional features that you might not have implemented initially, maybe creating custom reports that are tailored to your specific business needs.
Getting more value out of it.
Right. And the final step, step 7, is ongoing support and evolution. This means regularly reviewing your automated systems to ensure they continue to meet your evolving needs.
Staying up to date.
Staying informed about new features and updates, and planning for any future adaptations that might be necessary as your business grows or changes.
That sounds like a well-thought-out and supported process that minimizes potential disruption. It doesn't sound so scary when you break it down like that.
It's definitely manageable with a good plan.
Beyond just the obvious time savings, which we've talked a lot about, are there any less apparent or perhaps unexpected benefits that convenience store owners might see from automating their bookkeeping?
Absolutely. We see a lot of really valuable hidden benefits, as you say.
Yeah.
One significant one is actually an enhanced customer experience.
How does bookkeeping software improve customer experience?
Well, think about it. When your staff isn't bogged down in manual tasks like recording every single sale by hand or struggling with price checks because the system isn't up to date.
They have more time for the customer.
Exactly. They have more time and attention to focus on providing better customer service, ensuring faster checkout times. Plus, with accurate inventory and pricing info readily available.
They can answer questions confidently.
Right. Constantly and efficiently. You can even leverage the sales data captured by the system for more targeted marketing efforts, maybe loyalty programs. And crucially, you can minimize those frustrating out-of-stock situations.
Which definitely drives customers away.
It does. Happy customers are repeat customers. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah. What about your relationships with your suppliers and vendors? Does automation have any impact there?
It definitely can. Automating your accounts payable process, for instance, can lead to more consistent and on-time payments.
Which suppliers probably appreciate.
They do. And it can often qualify you for early payment discounts. It strengthens those relationships. Accurate inventory tracking leads to more precise and timely ordering.
Fewer mistakes in orders.
Fewer errors, fewer miscommunications that can strain those relationships. And having detailed purchase history and sales data at your fingertips puts you in a much stronger negotiating position when it comes to pricing and terms.
Data is power in negotiations.
It is. Plus, well-organized financial records can make it easier to secure vendor credit if you ever need it.
So it sounds like it can really strengthen your entire business ecosystem, not just the internal operations. That's interesting.
It really ties things together.
What about the long-term value of the business itself? Let's say an owner is thinking about selling down the road. Does automated bookkeeping play a role there?
Oh, absolutely. A significant role. Clean, comprehensive, and consistently maintained financial records generated by an automated system significantly increase buyer confidence.
Makes a business look more professional, more buttoned up.
Exactly. It demonstrates that the business is well managed, operates efficiently with minimal owner dependence on manual tasks, and provides a clear and reliable financial history.
Less risk for the buyer.
Much less risk. The long-term data collected by the system provides invaluable trend analysis that can support a higher business valuation. And the organized nature of the records makes the due diligence process for potential buyers much smoother.
So it actually adds tangible value to the business as a sellable asset down the line. That's a key point.
It really is. Often overlooked.
And I have to imagine that all these benefits, the time savings, the better decisions, the smoother operations, have a positive ripple effect on the owner's personal life and overall well-being as well.
Absolutely. This is often one of the most impactful benefits we hear about.
Yeah.
We consistently hear from owners about a significant reduction in financial anxiety.
Just knowing where things stand.
Just having that real-time visibility and control over their financial situation. Less time spent on tedious admin tasks naturally translates to a better work-life balance.
Fewer late nights with paperwork.
No more late nights buried under paperwork or lying awake worrying about unpaid bills or whether the numbers add up. And knowing that your finances are being accurately tracked and managed, even when you're not physically at the store.
Like when you take that vacation.
Exactly. It provides a real sense of peace of mind. That's invaluable.
Those all sound like incredibly valuable benefits that extend far beyond just the numbers on a spreadsheet. Now, I'm sure some convenience store owners listening might still have some reservations or hesitations about making this switch. What are some of the most common concerns you hear?
Cost is often the first thing that comes to mind. How much is this going to cost me?
Right. Is it expensive?
Well, while there is an initial investment involved in adopting an automated system, it's crucial to really look at the return on that investment, the ROI.
How quickly do people usually see a return?
As we discussed earlier, this often materializes within a relatively short time frame, typically maybe 3 to 6 months, through reduced accounting fees, the prevention of those costly errors we talked about, potential tax savings from better expense tracking, and, maybe most importantly, the significant value of your own time that is freed up.
That $52,000 figure again.
Right. Time you can use to focus on growing your business. For those concerned about the upfront expense, starting with a more basic automation package and gradually adding more advanced features as needed is often a smart strategy.
That's a good point. You don't have to go all in with every bell and whistle from day one. Scale into it.
Exactly. Scale as you grow or get comfortable.
What about the fear of technology? For owners who aren't particularly tech savvy, the idea of learning a new software system can be intimidating. I'm not a computer person.
That's a very valid concern, but the good news is that modern automated bookkeeping systems are designed with user-friendliness as a top priority.
They're not made for accountants necessarily.
No, they're often made for business owners. Most feature intuitive, visual interfaces that don't require any coding knowledge or advanced technical skills. They often include step-by-step guided setup processes.
Wizards and things.
Yeah, wizards, tutorials, mobile apps that make many common tasks very simple and accessible. And crucially, reputable software providers offer robust customer support.
Like help desks.
Live chat, comprehensive video tutorials, helpful webinars. Plus, as we touched on earlier, partnering with a bookkeeping service that specializes in convenience stores can provide an added layer of support and expertise.
So you don't have to become the tech expert yourself.
Precisely. Leverage their expertise.
So there's usually plenty of support available, and the systems are designed to be relatively easy to navigate, even for those who aren't digital natives.
Okay, what about the security of all that sensitive financial data being stored in the cloud? That's a concern I'm sure many owners have.
That's a very legitimate concern, and it's one that reputable cloud-based bookkeeping solutions take extremely seriously. They invest heavily in security. What kind of security?
They typically employ very high levels of security, often exceeding what a small business could realistically implement on its own. This includes things like enterprise-grade data encryption.
Scrambling the data.
Yes, protecting your financial information both while it's stored and during transmission. Automatic security updates to guard against the latest threats, multi-factor authentication.
Like getting a code on your phone.
Exactly, to prevent unauthorized access. And those regular automatic data backups stored in multiple secure locations to ensure data recovery in case of any unforeseen events.
Fire, flood, cyber attack.
Right. They also have strict access controls in place, those role-based permissions we talked about, to ensure that only authorized personnel can view or modify your financial data.
It sounds like they invest heavily in security to protect their users' data, probably more than I could do on my own computer.
That's generally true for most small businesses.
And the last common concern you mentioned earlier was the potential feeling of losing control over your finances when you're handing things over to an automated system. Does that happen?
Interestingly, what we typically see is the opposite. Automation actually increases an owner's control over their finances.
How does that work? Seems counterintuitive.
You gain far greater visibility into your financial data, and you can access that information anytime, from anywhere. Problems and discrepancies are flagged much earlier than they would be with manual methods,
So you find out sooner.
allowing you to address them proactively. You're making critical business decisions based on complete, up-to-date information, rather than relying on guesswork or outdated reports from last month.
Data-driven decisions.
Yes, and most systems allow you to set up customizable alerts and notifications for specific financial events or thresholds you want to monitor closely. For owners who still desire a high level of strategic oversight.
But don't want to do the day-to-day entry.
Right. Services like fractional CFO support can be a valuable complement to automation. They help you interpret the data generated by the system and maintain strategic control while the software handles the grunt work.
So it's really about gaining better insights and making more informed decisions rather than relinquishing control. That makes sense.
It's about smarter control.
Now, we've talked a lot about the theory and the potential benefits. Do you have any specific real-world examples of how automated bookkeeping has actually made a tangible difference for convenience store owners, like actual results?
Absolutely. We've seen some really significant transformations. For instance, we worked with a convenience store owner in Fort Worth
Okay.
who is consistently spending around 15 hours every single week just on administrative and bookkeeping tasks, just buried in it.
15 hours. That's almost 2 full workdays.
It is. After implementing an automated system tailored for their needs, that time commitment plummeted to just around 3 hours per week.
15 down to 3.
Yes, freeing up over 600 valuable hours every single year. Think what you could do with 600 extra hours.
Wow. That's incredible. Any others?
In another case, a client discovered through the automated system's reporting that they had been consistently underclaiming fuel delivery expenses. Simple manual data entry errors over time.
Just missing them.
Just missing small amounts consistently. The automated system flagged these discrepancies by comparing invoices to payments. They were able to go back, amend things, and recover over $7,200 in previously missed tax deductions in a single year.
$7,000 just found money, basically.
Pretty much, yeah. Money they were entitled to but missed due to manual errors.
Those are some really compelling numbers that clearly demonstrate the real-world impact. Any examples related to improvements in cash flow or maybe better decision-making?
Yes, we had a convenience store improve their average monthly cash flow by approximately $3,500.
3,500 a month.
Huh. Simply by having better, more timely oversight of their accounts receivable and payable through the automation. They can track who owed them money more easily, follow up faster, and manage their own payments more effectively.
Getting paid faster, paying bills smarter.
Exactly. And in terms of decision-making, one owner used the detailed inventory and sales analysis from their automated system to realize their expanded coffee station was significantly more profitable.
Than they thought.
Way more profitable than several other areas of the store.
Yeah.
Something like 37% margin versus maybe 22% elsewhere. Based on this clear data, they made a strategic decision to further expand the coffee offerings, optimize that section.
Double down on the winner.
Right, which ultimately led to an 8% increase in overall store profitability. We consistently see owners reporting a much higher level of confidence, often around 80% more confidence in the business decisions they make when they have reliable, up-to-date financial data.
Not just guessing anymore.
No more gut feelings alone. Data to back it up.
Those real-world examples really solidify the tangible benefits. It's not just abstract improvements, it's impacting real businesses and real lives.
Exactly, and we haven't even fully touched on the stress reduction.
Ah, yes. The peace of mind factor.
We consistently see a significant reduction in stress levels among owners who make the switch, particularly around tax season. Instead of weeks of frantic scrambling with paperwork,
That shoebox again.
the process becomes much simpler. Often just a matter of generating a few key reports directly from the system for their accountant. And for those unfortunate enough to face an unexpected audit,
Everyone's nightmare.
having well-organized, easily accessible records in an automated system can dramatically reduce the time spent preparing by as much as 70 to 80% in some cases. And it often leads to a much quicker resolution with fewer, if any, potential penalties.
Because everything is right there documented.
Documented, time-stamped, traceable.
It sounds like the transformation that automated bookkeeping can bring is pretty significant and touches almost every aspect of running a convenience store. So, as we start to wrap up this deep dive, what's the core message you want to leave with the convenience store owners who are listening today?
The key takeaway, I think, is that adopting automated bookkeeping isn't just about keeping pace with technology. It's really a fundamental shift. A shift that can lead to true time freedom.
Getting those hours back.
Crystal clear financial clarity, knowing your numbers inside and out,
Huh.
the capacity for sustainable growth, because you can make better decisions.
And less stress.
Significant improvements in your personal well-being, absolutely, and just building a future-ready foundation for your business. It's far more than just software.
It's about achieving that often elusive financial peace of mind.
Exactly. That's what it boils down to for so many owners.
And that peace of mind, it sounds like, comes from having a solid foundation built on accuracy in your numbers, integrity in your processes, and the ability to grow your business with greater confidence and control.
Precisely. Accuracy, integrity, growth. Those are the pillars it supports.
So our call to action for listeners today is
To really explore the possibilities. Think about how automated bookkeeping could specifically transform your convenience store operations. We strongly encourage you to take that first step, maybe talk to a provider or a specialized bookkeeper.
have a conversation about their specific situation.
Yes, have a conversation about your unique situation to see what kind of positive changes are within reach. Don't just assume it's too complex or too expensive without looking into it.
It's about taking control and gaining a much deeper, real-time understanding of your convenience store's financial health, and maybe a final thought to leave people with.
Consider this. What potential opportunities for growth or efficiency might you be missing right now simply because you don't have that clear, readily available insight into your own numbers?
What might you be leaving on the table? That's a powerful question to consider.